Hello and welcome to Is This Your Card? Today we're going to be looking at Core Rager. Core Rager is a 4/4 for 4 that, if your hand is empty when played, becomes a 7/7. Core Rager is a rather unique card, honestly, in the same vein as Brave Archer. When your hand is empty, it does something. In this case, it's a Battlecry effect that gives it +3/+3. This means that Core Rager has certain effects that make it very useful when top decked, or even when held in any kind of beast deck, simply because it becomes incredibly powerful when played with no cards. It's a bit like playing Druid of the Fang. However, Druid of the Fang is 1 mana more, but the Core Rager effect can be silenced because it's a Battlecry, but also because it's a Battlecry, it can be duplicated with Bran Bronzebeard. So there's actually a lot to be said here by choosing a Core Rager or Druid of the Fang, depending on your relevant playstyle. But the problem with Core Rager is that it's actually just a very basic minion if you play it outside of that little Battlecry effect. And if you have two in the hand, well, one of them's not going to be very useful at all, and one of them's going to be potentially very, very good. Now, of course, Core Rager can be used at the end of your turn. If you have 10 mana and 2 cards, you can always play Ball of Spiders and then Core Rager to get a little bit of extra value out of the situation. But there is actually a secondary effect that I found out while recording the video that I didn't necessarily think of. This is the situation where you play Core Rager onto a board where there is a Starving Buzzard. Now, I thought that playing Core Rager onto the board where there's a Starving Buzzard would cause the Core Rager to get the 7/7 and then draw a card. As it turns out, despite the fact that the Core Rager was clearly showing it could be buffed, because the Starving Buzzard drew a card before the Battlecry took place, the Core Rager actually stayed a 4/4 and didn't 7/7, which was incredibly weird. So it's worth bearing in mind if you actually run Starving Buzzard for whatever godly reason, that you shouldn't really play a Core Rager onto a Starving Buzzard if you want the buff. Honestly, there's not a lot of love for Core Rager because it's only really useful when you have an empty hand, but it is really, really good when you do have an empty hand. Honestly, I think people should really try to use it more.